Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we are counting down my 5 most embarrassing moments with regard to luxury. Yes, there's more than 5, but here let's stick to 5. These are my 5 top, the most embarrassing. Find out which stores I embarrassed myself in. Find out how I ended up in A&E. And yeah, at the end I'm going to tell you the number one most embarrassing moment. It had to be number one, so let's get going. So the first 4 of these are equally embarrassing, I think. Some are slightly worse than others maybe, but the one I'm leaving to last is in a league of its own, so wait for that one. But anyway, the first one I'm going to tell you about is I had booked my trip to go to Paris with my gorgeous friends, who I'll put on the screen here. This was about a year ago, and yeah, I was looking forward to going to Paris. It was about 3 or 4 days, I think, before we were due to go. And I got the call. As you do, I got a call from Hermes, which was, yeah, unexpected, very, very appreciated. And it was that my wish list bag had been granted. And if I wanted it, could I come and collect it? And I was, yes. So I set off. I had to get the train and get to London the following day. So I'm giggling because I know what's coming next. Get on the platform and the train is just pulling up. And just as I was walking, a guy who was stood with all his suitcases stood up and obviously decided he needed to go in the opposite direction to me, and he swung round with his suitcases and took me out. Literally took me out. He flung them round. He was in a mad rush, obviously, and I was going to say face planted, but I side planked nearly. It was just awful. Anyway, it was the most embarrassing moment. I'm on the floor. He hurries off, doesn't wait to help me. I get myself up because I'm so embarrassed. Then I realise my ankle is not in a good way. Anyway, the train is waiting. I am getting on that train because this beauty, this Birkin 25 in Rouge Grenade in Togo leather with gold hardware was waiting for me, and there was no way I wasn't going to get on the train. Now, I shouldn't have got on the train because I couldn't walk, but I hobbled and got myself on the train, and I thought it was one of those, I will be absolutely fine. I'll walk it off. I've probably just twisted my ankle. It will be fine. I tried to have a little bit of a walk up and down the train en route. I then take my sneakers off to have a look at the damage, because I knew it was swelling. And I knew if I got my shoe off, I would not get it back on. So I was in a bit of a bad way. Anyway, fast forward and we get to London and I could hardly walk off the train. There's no way I was going to be able to do the tube or walk or anything else. So I got myself a taxi. I hobbled my way to Hermes. I waited in Hermes. I picked up this absolute beauty. Priorities, eh? And my rest of the day, which was going to be a really lovely wander around London, maybe do a bit of sightseeing, maybe just enjoy London, maybe just, I don't know, look at another few shops or something. Yeah, ended up with me finding a cafe very near to Hermes and staying in it until my train. And that was my day. I got home and took myself to A&E because I was in so much pain, and I shouldn't laugh, but the outcome was obviously fine. I thought I'd broken my ankle, fractured my ankle. When I went into A&E, they thought I fractured my ankle, and I had x-rays. And anyway, me and my friends had lots of messages of me saying, I know we're going to Paris in 3 days or 2 days or something, but I'm currently in A&E and I don't think I can walk, and this is going to be a disaster. And I had lots of memes coming back about old people's mobility scooters, and one way or the other we would be going to Paris, and I was saying, don't you worry, I will be there. I just might slow you down. Anyway, the outcome was fine. I just badly sprained it. I was told, yeah, to look after it, not walk on it so much. Went to Paris and I did walk on it, and it was, you know, it was absolutely fine, but it was embarrassing. Laid on the platform, all because I was going to pick up this beauty. So is that irresponsible? Is that not sensible? Yeah. Was I getting on the train? Yeah. So that leads us nicely on to my second embarrassing moment, which was in Paris. So we landed in Paris, we got to the hotel, all the rest of it. We had appointments booked in various places, and on one of the days, my gorgeous friend, Lorna from Lorna Style, who I'll link everybody in the description box, she had arranged for us to go to the Dior Cafe, the Dior restaurant within the flagship 30 Montaigne store in Paris on Avenue Montaigne, and absolute dream come true to even go and visit the store. But the fact that she had managed to get us a table, and her essay had kindly arranged for a tour of the store and was sending champagne over, and it was just incredible. Anyway, the morning of that, so that was at lunchtime, in the morning we all decided to go to Louis Vuitton on the Champs-Elysees, which actually isn't far from Avenue Montaigne. So the plan was to go to Louis Vuitton and see, just have a mooch around and make our way down to the Dior Cafe. Anyway, myself and Emma from Emma Anders, we were the two that were buying something that day from Louis Vuitton. I was getting this. I've talked about this before. This has caused a lot of trouble, I tell you, it really has. I was buying this, and I think Emma was buying an agenda cover, something like that. And we had, do you know, I can't remember the timings, but the other ladies set off because they wanted to have a little look along the way before they got to the Dior Cafe. So they set off and they said, we'll see you there, 12 o'clock sharp, don't be late. And we were absolutely, I think we had a good hour, and it's maybe, what, 5-10 minutes walk. So all we had to do was, yeah, to pay for these items and make our way down there. We had so much time, and the gentleman who was looking after us was so lovely. Anyway, time kept ticking on and on and on and on, and we were, suddenly it was, do you know, I think we need to mention that we need to leave because we haven't got a lot of time anymore. And we must have said to him 3 or 4 times, really sorry, we have an appointment booked, we have a table booked, we cannot be late. And he was then, oh, where are you going? And he then led to all this history about Dior, even though he was in Louis Vuitton, and he was telling us all different things and saying, oh, it's amazing, and Avenue Montaigne and blah blah blah. And we were like, that's really, really kind and really interesting, but we really do need to leave, so is it possible to pay for these items? And we did get to the stage where it was, if we don't pay for them, we'll just have to leave them. So anyway, off he went, and we went to the cash desk, and there was a queue and other things happening, but we still had time. We then got to the front of the queue, we both then paid, and so we were like, phew, we've paid, we're just waiting for him to bring the items back all wrapped up. And as you know, in Louis Vuitton, they do not spend time wrapping up the packaging. There's in a dust bag, and it goes in a box, in a bag. There's no tissue, there's no beautiful arrangement of anything. So it really, really doesn't take long. And even though he knew we had literally no time, because the time had ticked on, he disappeared. We'd paid, so we couldn't leave because we'd paid for the items. And he'd disappeared, and we're asking the ladies to go and find him, and we were getting really, really worried, and we're messaging the other ladies and saying, I'm so sorry, we're coming, we're doing our best. And we both felt absolutely terrible, because we felt so disrespectful, even though it wasn't our fault. Anyway, finally he comes back with the items, and then he tells us he's going to give us some directions and this, that and the other, and we just didn't have the time. So we were, thank you so much, but we need to leave. And we had to run, and I mean run from the Champs-Elysees down to the flagship store in Dior because Lorna had arranged this beautiful dinner for us. Anyway, we ran. I have got a sprained ankle that I was in A&E 2-3 days before with, and I am running like an idiot down I think it is Avenue Montaigne, I don't know the street names, but anyway, down to the flagship store, and it was so embarrassing. I'm hobbling, Emma's trying to wait for me, I'm telling her to go, and anyway we end up dishevelled, well I did, completely dishevelled, sweating like anything, running like an idiot into Dior, going to the wrong place, being directed to the wrong place. I was so hassled, it was awful, and I just felt so bad that we were late in the end, and I felt so bad. Anyway, the whole episode was so embarrassing, but we had a wonderful time and it didn't spoil the trip. So that is my second one. Okay, my third story to tell you guys. I was with my husband and we were in Harrods, and this is a few years ago, and I really wanted to try on some shoes in Christian Louboutin. It was in the days where I was still convincing myself that I could get away with these shoes and I could wear them. They're beautiful shoes, aren't they? And yeah, I was all in at that point. So we're going to Christian Louboutin, and there were some absolutely stunning ankle boots. They came up, it's a sort of like calf height boots, absolutely beautiful, gorgeous heel. Anyway, and I was, can I try these on? And they didn't have my size, but he said, oh, try the half size down because they, were finding they may fit okay. So yeah, I tried them on and they were absolutely beautiful, but they were too tight. They were just too tight. So I just said, oh, no, they're definitely pinching my feet. They're just not they're not going to be okay, unfortunately. Then I couldn't get them off. I could not get them off. This one foot would not come off. So I'm trying to say, because it's years ago when I was so embarrassed, and I wouldn't have said to the sales assistant, can you help at all? I'm whispering to my husband, you need to help me I can't get them off, and he's going, what on earth? And it was so embarrassing, and I could not get them off. And the sales associate comes back, and because he'd wandered off, he came back, and he was saying, so they're no good, madam. And I was like, I can't get them off. So he then tries to get them off, and he couldn't get them off. So you can just see the picture. So I'm sat on the chair with my leg stuck out. He's literally pulling and pulling for dear life. This boot is not coming off. He's literally, it was just so embarrassing. Andrew was literally like, Andrew was literally like that at the side of me. I was bright red, sweating, wanting the world to swallow me up. It was just horrific. And he was literally, the guy in the end had to put his foot onto the chair near me to give him enough leverage to pull this boot off my foot. Honestly, I could not get out of there quick enough. It was so embarrassing. Anyway, that's the next one. Okay, my fourth embarrassing moment actually wasn't it wasn't me, it was my friend, but we laugh about this all the time, and I've shared this before, and she doesn't mind me sharing this story. So if you are watching, you know who you are. So we went to Hermes in order to pick up this. So I got the call. So this is my Kelly 28 in Green Tan, palladium hardware, Togo leather, and this was the call for my very first ever Hermes bag. So it was super exciting. I didn't want to go on my own. I was too scared. I was so scared to go pick it up. It's just a bag, for goodness sake. Anyway, so I said to my friend, please come with me, please come with me. So we arranged to get on the train. I think it was the following day, we'll go get on the train. We're going to pick up this bag. We're so excited. I'd only really ever been in Hermes like once or twice before. I've told you the story about that already. So anyway, we arrive and my beautiful essay in Hermes greeted us. And when you buy a bag or when you're offered a bag in Hermes, you're usually taken to a separate area so that they're not showing the bag in public, because people go a little bit crazy. It's crackers, isn't it? But they can't sort of have the bags on show in the store, because everybody starts to crowd round and want to see it, and I think they want to make it a little bit special for you as well. So anyway, it took us over to this area. Now this area did, to be fair to my friend, it did look like we were going just round the corner. So it was, just a little area, and it had a desk and 2 chairs. And he said, please, come and sit down, and I'll be with you in a moment. So we're sitting down. We're both super nervous. Neither of us have really done, at that point in time, a lot of luxury shopping at all. So I was super, super nervous about the whole experience. About, I don't know, it's this silly imposter syndrome of thinking somebody like me would never be offered a bag like that, and I couldn't believe I was there. It's very silly, but it's just how I felt. So I was super nervous, and I'm from the north. I'm very down to earth. I just thought, do I belong in this world? And actually, yes, I do. I can belong wherever I want to be. But anyway, I was feeling really, really nervous. And my friend, we were taking our coats off and sitting down, and as she tried to take her coat off in order to, and then move the chair to sit down, this curtain, it was like an automated curtain, started to come across, and it was obviously going to partition where we were from the rest of the store. Now she didn't see the curtain going, and the curtain took her out, and she ended up straddling the curtain and getting herself in a pickle. And oh my goodness, we couldn't stop laughing. We just could not stop laughing. So, and it wasn't embarrassing. It's just something. It was just funny, but I just thought, we're literally going to get marched out of here. They're gonna come and say, I'm really sorry, you don't belong in here. Go back, go back. I don't know. It was just very funny, but obviously nobody cared. It was really, really funny. We had a lovely day, and I picked up my beautiful bag. So her straddling the curtain. We often talk about these funny little moments that we've shared together, so that had to make this list. And the final, and the one that's the most embarrassing, and in a league of its own. So I was invited to a Dior event in Selfridges in Manchester, and I had been a customer client of Dior for a little while, but it was the first event that I'd been invited to from Dior or anybody else, and I was again super, super nervous. I was going on my own. I'm quite shy in these sort of situations where they're like social situations where you don't know anybody, and I've been invited by the gorgeous Susie. Hi Susie, if you're watching, you know what's coming. And she invited me, and it was going to be a look around the store, but it was also going for afternoon tea in Selfridges as well. And I was super excited, but really, really nervous. So I got there really early, and I knew I would be meeting Emma from Emma Anders for the first time, when me and Emma had been talking quite a while by then. I've been watching her channel forever. And we had been talking quite a while, and obviously we both knew Susie, and Susie had said, oh, you two should meet because you will really, really get on. And she's right, we do. Anyway, but it was finally the time I was going to meet Emma, so I was incredibly nervous. Anyway, get there early, go in. Susie offers me some champagne. No thank you, I'm driving. She says, well, can I get you some orange juice? Yes, perfect, thank you so much. So I get in. Emma hadn't arrived yet. A couple of ladies were there. I was gabbling away as I do when I'm nervous. And Susie offers the seat to me, so I sit down, and there's a coffee table and another seat at the other side. And another lady came up and was talking. She was in front of me talking, and I'm gesticulating because I do this when I'm nervous, and I'm just start blabbling on about absolutely nothing. And I did that, and Susie had put the orange juice, obviously very kindly, on the coffee table at the side of me, and it just literally went, and I was like, oh no. And I was so embarrassed. I've never been so embarrassed in my entire life. Not only did I knock over the glass, orange juice, cream carpet onto the side of the other lady's chair, which was like a cream, I think it was like a cream or grey, like boucle fabric, beautiful chair. Luckily it didn't go over anybody, so I managed to miss the lady who was sat on the chair, and there was nobody behind us, thank goodness. But it did go all over the carpet, all over the side of the chair, and the glass was gone. And the worst thing was, on the coffee table there was a Dior beautiful coffee table book that's all covered in fabric. I literally, I was so embarrassed. And the lady who I'd been talking to, who was stood in front of me, screamed, "Save the book! Save the book!" And I was just so embarrassed because I was so nervous. I knew I was meeting Emma for the first time. I was in a place that I felt not uncomfortable because everybody was lovely, but just socially, I didn't know anybody. I'd never been to an event like that. It was just, I was so nervous. And then I went and did that, and I just thought, oh my goodness, I just need to go home. And Susie, and I've mentioned this before on my channel, Susie, you are the best. She came rushing over, she sorted it. I'm saying, I'll pay for the carpet to be cleaned, I'll buy the coffee table book, I'll pay for this, I'm so sorry. And she was, please Deb, just please enjoy yourself, don't let this change, like ruin your evening. It's not a problem, I am sorting it. And she put me at ease so much, even though this other lady was screaming at me to save the book. Anyway, so in then comes Emma. So she comes to the aftermath of all of this, and I thought, she literally will be, who on earth are you? But no, she was super kind. She didn't see the event, I don't think, but I think she saw the nerves and the embarrassment of me after, and she couldn't have been nicer either, trying to put me at ease. And we had a lovely evening in the end. And yeah, so to Susie and to Emma for helping me out, but oh my goodness, I am so clumsy. So that is my most embarrassing moment. So what do you guys think? Let me know which one of those was your favourite story. And also, have you guys had any embarrassing moments? Whether it's to do with luxury or not, just let me know. It's just funny, isn't it? And the more we can laugh at ourselves and let these things go and don't let these things affect us, all the better. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on another one.